Ah, yes, indeed. You're very welcome to Tuesday here on the Football Lounge. We've got a snazzy new logo, we've got a snazzy new intro, and Colm and Ross, tell me what you want, tell me what you need.
3 points, please. That's what I would love.
Um, a one-way ticket for the Glazers to go back to America.
Well, did they ever actually leave America, though, is the question.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind, getting in contact with Donald Trump and us building a wall around their house so they can't get out of it.
Yeah. No, today does seem it's like the show could belong on the Man United agenda. I am going to admit it was a last minute topic because I and Colin both arrived in late from work, and it was just like, okay, what's in the news topics? Yeah, that'll do. So we're going to talk about the potential French, French is like what? Fresh Prince of Manchester. Ross has already shaken his head, but before we do, there is a little small product. It's just above Cullum's head at the moment, the logo, but Wraith Energy. If you use code FTSN22, you will get 10% off Wraith products. Thank you to our partners, Wraith Energy. I was actually going to leave this at the end, but I am going to try something new. There's a TV show called Whose Line Is It Anyway that is quite popular at the moment. And I, Rebel, as host, promise to be absolutely biased, to be completely and utterly arbitrary in the way that I put my points down. The point scoring system will be determined by me at the time of each and other quote that you give me, and I would be completely and utterly unfair in deciding a winner between the two of you. So, welcome to the Football Lounges. Whose line is it anyway? And the first topic of 3 tonight is things that Stevie G never got to say to his kids.
I got Villa in the top 10.
Colm is sitting there. Nope. So that's a big negative 1,000 for Colm, and that's 1 point for us.
My mind went to a dark place.
Topic 2. Things that Alex Ferguson wouldn't have said after losing 7-0 to Liverpool.
Well, at least you all tried, lads.
Good atmosphere from the away fans. We did it for them.
Yeah, that's plus $1 million for Colm, minus 1,000 for Ross. And finally, things that people do in the stand other than watching football.
Support Manchester City?
The VAR officials, the passion for that.
Yes, indeed. Well, I have decided, following your lame answers, that I am the winner of today's Whose Line Is It Anyway? So there you go. Let's get on to the main. Let's get on to the main business of the situation, and that is today reports came out that Harry Kane, having got his record, is now looking to book a taxi and saying, "Yo, home's Manchester." Is Harry Kane the one that could be the potential to be the Fresh Prince of Ten Hag's team next season?
I'll let Ross answer. Go on.
Yes. Let me answer. Not like I want to speak about Manchester United, but we can talk about Harry Kane, the best English striker in history so far. Okay. Seriously speaking, though, he's shown to be a one-club man, and a lot of Spurs fans could actually argue that he's a legend, a current legend at Spurs. And the reason I say that is because he is the all-time top goal scorer at Spurs with no trophies to show. It's quite sad. But I do think that if Spurs drop out of the top 4 and don't make Champions League next season, then there's an increasing likelihood that he would move. And it seems to be a good move to Manchester United, in all honesty. I think he would be a good focal point around that Manchester United team. A lot better than Veghorst, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, don't be harsh and pull all wiggy, bud. Come on now. He's a good tall young fella. Colum, it is believed, according to FTSN cameras, that Harry Kane was seen entering the offices of Daniel Levy saying, "Please, sir, can I win at least one trophy here at Tottenham?"
Well, he's never going to win a trophy at Tottenham. Let's
Audi
put it that
Cup.
way. Oh, sorry. He can win a trophy that's named after an automobile. Okay, well done. I'm going to surprise a lot of people. I don't want Harry Kane at United. I don't think he's the right player. I really don't. If we're going to take anybody from Tottenham, I'd rather have Son or Kulusevski, somebody like that. Harry Kane, for me, wouldn't fit into Eric Ten Hag system. We need somebody else.
Okay. And I am seeing our Arsenal correspondent, the silver one, saying, "Why would you want Harry Kane? He's allergic to trophies."
Well, he's proven it. He's not won a trophy at Tottenham. And then when it got down to the nitty gritty in the World Cup, he decided, he was going to fluff that chance as well. So.
Oof, low blow. That is a low blow. But I do want to ask both of you, since we're speaking about Harry Kane, can we agree that he's actually past his best? If we look at how he's playing right now at Spurs, he's not as mobile as he once was, and he's probably not going to get any better. In my opinion, he is past his best. What do you guys think?
Harry Kane's a form player. That's what he is. He plays off the form of everybody else around him. So if his teammates around him aren't doing very well, then it shows in his performance. I don't think Kane is as good as what people think Kane is. I think it's the players around him that make him look good.
Interesting. Now, obviously, we've been linked with other players such as Vitor Osimhen and Benjamin Sesko, and a former Chelsea player has also been linked, Mr. Tammy Abraham. Are these players that excite you more than Harry Kane, or is there a couple more of them that you're saying don't even come within the Sheffield border of Manchester?
Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'd take 2 of them. I wouldn't take Tammy Abraham. I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong, he's doing very, very well, but it's a completely different style of football. Serie A to Premier League's different, which is why he's gone over to Serie A. He didn't quite cut it in the Premier League to begin with. I know Ross is probably a fan of Tammy Abraham for some unbeknown reason.
But he is Villa level.
He is. He would be a fantastic player. I mean, Danny Ings has gone. He'd be a perfect replacement for Danny Ings. But Osimhen, I would snap Osimhen up in a heartbeat. He's a fantastic player. It's just his price range is a little bit too much for me. And Sesko, he looks like another one, but he's going to be probably a project. He's not going to be coming in guns a-blazing. He's more of a project player. I think there's quite a lot of players out there you can look at and be like, would they make it? Would they not make it? One that I said that would do quite well in the Premier League, or I think he would, is Ciro Immobile. I think he would do fantastic. I know he's slightly older now, but he's got that experience, and I think he would do quite well in the Premier League.
Interesting. Now, I might as well stay on the team of Manchester United, and it does say, well, actually, it should say in the title, transfer talk as well. But there has been some controversy around the captaincy of Manchester United, following on from the perceived antics, at least from the outside looking in, of one Bruno Fernandes. Now, we had seen of late that he had been doing this yapping in the ears of referee and was applying himself on football pitch. And former club legend Gary Pallister has stated that there is a captain waiting in the wings at Manchester United, and it is in fact not the Portuguese, but his Brazilian teammate Casemiro, that he embodies everything that a leader should have on the pitch. He's a general, he is someone that teammates look up to, and he's someone that would apply the standards of Ten Hag on the pitch. And before you go into him, the current club captain, who still is Harry Maguire, even though Bruno wears it on the pitch, is looking likely to be going abroad, a la Chris Smalling. So thoughts on both those gentlemen?
Yeah, well, we've seen how well the Serie A has treated Chris Smalling. He's been quite consistent and been playing relatively well, albeit the Serie A's quality is a lot less than the Premier League. And I also think going abroad might do Harry Maguire the world of good. We know how crazy the English media can be with their scrutiny, and sometimes it is justified, but also you can see from how some players handle all of that constant spotlight. It isn't good, especially all the negativity. It's bad for a player's mental health. It attributes to their poor form on the pitch as well. And having a public life as a player at Manchester United, you'll always be under the magnifying glass. And I think it would be really good for him to kickstart his career somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, you seen, like you said, you've seen what Serie A has done to players that have left the Premier League and gone there. It's revitalised their careers. You know, Chris Smalling was having a hard time before he left. He's now one of the best defenders in the Serie A. Tomori is another one. You know, he seemed like he wasn't going to live up to his potential. And now I think pretty much everybody's constantly asking, why is he not in the England squad? You know, because he's absolutely amazing. Tammy Abraham's another one, you know, going to a different position. He struggled in the Premier League, has gone to Serie A, and now he's firing all cylinders. So I think it'd be a very, very good move, a very wise move for both player and club.
Very interesting.
Another example about English players that have gone abroad to Serie A is Tomori, the former Chelsea man. We've seen how good he has been playing for AC Milan. And he was in for a shot. Why are you laughing? What's funny about that?
I already said Tomori, mate.
Did you? No.
Ground control to Major Ross. You can turn off the 5-minute delay in the show, Ross.
Honestly,
he's so good. I have to speak about him twice.
Honestly, when you said that another player, I was waiting for you to say something. I was waiting for you to go Lukaku, and I was just about to literally kick you off of the stream.
He'll be back in the Premier League scoring goals in no time. Rumors that United will buy him back. I'm sure they'll start twirling.
That's a hard no, but I do want to ask a question though surrounding English players, and obviously we know that there are rules around the numbers of English players that are required to be held in squads. And I want to say hello to Monday Juma as well. He's just after coming off a preview show for the Real Betis game on Thursday. So you're very welcome along, and anybody that you dragged from United Agenda, they're also welcome too. But if Harry Kane leaves, if Phil Jones finally leaves, if Aaron Wan-Bissaka possibly gets sold, and also he who shall not be named moves abroad, Manchester United could potentially have lost 4 of their players to meet their requirements. How important then would it be for maybe them to target the likes of your Madisons, your Harvey Barneses, and your Harry Kanes in order to boost that coefficient again?
Yeah, obviously it's important for him to do that 100%. Because, like you said, you know, you're going to have a certain amount of players, but we can bring players from the youth academy if necessary. We can bring these kind of players up as well and get them registered in first team, which also helps. I mean, Madison, if Leicester go down, you know, he's going to be snapped up very, very quickly. So if we're going to look at him, then yes, we're going to have to take him on very, very quickly. A player that I wouldn't mind seeing if, for instance, we lost quite a lot of Englishmen, and I'm probably going to get shot in the chat for it. I wouldn't mind seeing Ollie Watkins at United as like the backup.
Watkins would be a rather expensive backup though, because if Villa
I don't think he would.
Villa are not going to do business with us for anything less than 60 odd million. And
Ollie Watkins isn't 60 odd million pound player, and I know for a fact I wouldn't get 60 odd million for him.
Yeah, but let's play devil's advocate. We have a United tax in play, And if we get owners at the level of the Qatari bid, where they have money blowing a hole in their pockets, automatically every single player we target goes up 20%.
Yeah, okay, but his value is 32 million euros. That's his value currently. And he's not going to get any more expensive because he's 27 years old, 28 this year, which means his value is only going to go down. So for somebody that's, even if it's short term, because we've got to bring in this striker. So we're going to be bringing in a striker from a different league. We need somebody that's going to be there in the backup who can come on and knows what to do in the Premier League straight away. So we have time to bed in this new striker. And I think Ollie Watkins would be amazing to do that. We've seen what he can do on his A game. And imagine what he'd be like under Eric Ten Hag. I mean, you've seen the improvement that Unai Emery's done to him. Now imagine what he'd be like under Eric Ten Hag.
Interesting point.
If I can also just add some comments here, I'll take off my claret and blue glasses and just give you a non-biased opinion here. Ollie Watkins is a really good striker. He may not be as clinical as what other top strikers are. He's not a striker that's going to get you 15, 20 goals a season. He's not that type of player. But what he does do is he has a high intensity work rate off the ball. And there's a lot of Villa fans out there that don't appreciate that. He chases down the loose balls. He tries to go onto defenders and to let them know that there's somebody here. He applies the pressure, and that can't be taken for granted. He's a modern striker in the sense he's not going to just stand up there as a poacher. He's going to want to work hard for the team. And that's the type of player that Manchester United would do well to have, because he'll be somebody to help build up the play around and bring in other players into the attacking final third. He also, he's naturally a left winger. He's only recently been converted a striker at Aston Villa. So he can give you that option to play off the wing where he cuts in, or as a false nine, or even an advanced forward. So he is really good in that sense. And yeah, I also have to agree with what Com says. He's not going to be valued at 60 million, not anywhere near there. When I think about how much I would value Watkins as a Villa fan, top end 35, 40 million pounds. And that's if we really, really negotiate hard. But around 30 million is quite reasonable.
The other thing as well is that another reason why his price isn't going to be as high is he's only got 1 year left in his contract by next year.
Interesting points, gentlemen. That does lead us to the point of the show where we just need to take stock of Manchester United's goal-scoring exploits this season. We mentioned this in the dispatches following our humbling the last day. The fall-off from Rashford to the next man up is quite substantial. And when you look at the successful Manchester United teams, they've had 3 or 4 players chipping in at least lower double-figure hauls in order to get them to their final destination, whether it was a Premier League or in a number of years it was a Champions League or an FA Cup. That at the moment isn't happening. We aren't seeing the goal production we would like from your Anthony's, your Sancho's, your Bruno's, and other players that would have been expected to have contributed. Now, obviously, Anthony Martial looked like he was going to be a guy this year. He looked confident. He looked happy. He looked focused on his football. But the one problem that you can't fix is somebody that has a long list of injuries. And invariably, he's spent more time unavailable to us than he has available to us. He comes on, looks good in the game, and he's gone then for 2 months. So we're definitely feeling the pinch in our goal-scoring options. So let's just say Harry Kane is brought in and there's a wedge of cash spent on him. Is it enough?
No, it's not. It's not. Let's look at how football teams should operate within the teams. And I'm going by goal scoring here. So let's say you have 2 strikers. Both of those strikers are scoring 15 to 20 goals a season. Let's just say. I know in the Premier League that's quite unheard of, but let's say that they're between 15 and 20 goals a season. So that's giving you, what, 30 to 35 goals a season, just there. And then you've got your wingers that are adding on to that. Let's say they get 10 goals a season each. That's, what, 55 there? And then your midfielders, they might pop up with, 6, 7, somewhere around there. So now that's taking you up to the 60s. And then your defenders and everybody else jumps in. What? Probably 60s, 70s. And your defenders jump in and chip in. We had 1 or 2, crosses and headers and all that kind of stuff. And your wing backs as well. So let's say in the combined there, that takes you up to about 80, 85 goals per season. United are on 41 goals. Not even halfway to what that is. And there's teams already. Manchester City are on 66. Arsenal are on 59. And that's because their team cohesion, they've got goals coming from everywhere consistently. United don't. United, if Rashford's not on his A game and he don't score, I spoke to United fans, they turn around and say, where are the goals coming from?
Well, we've had a few chip-ins from Fred, who I think is in our top 5 goal scorers this season, which tells you everything you need to know about our lack of production. I do want to hit some comments though before we start coming up to the wrap-up phase of the show. Monday saying Harry would be effective for us, although I don't fancy him. But for the time being, he would definitely be a key player when we consider Weghorst. So a player caught Harry that Monday doesn't like? Oh my days. Ross, in case you don't know, Monday is the first night of the Defenders of the Harry Maguire faith. He is the knight in shining pink and blue underwear for everything that is Harry Maguire, and he will twerk all day and all night for that man.
It's the Harry Maguire Defence League.
Yes. The silver one saying, Cullum, I do like Watkins. So, and interestingly, Moss was saying he's an Arsenal fan. So that could be an interesting targeting if he does. Actually, lads, can you talk amongst yourselves briefly? I have somebody that wants to be a special guest on the show.
No, they're not allowed. No, Ross, I mean, you'll be able to back me up here. I think people are sleeping on Watkins.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at his numbers that he's performed for Aston Villa, not only can he score goals, but I do say he's not clinical, is that he's not going to score a high amount of goals, but he can get to the good couple when presented an opportunity. But he also pitches in with a lot of assists as well. So that just goes to show how much of an all-round team player he is. He does get scrutinized that he doesn't, that he's not a good finisher, in the sense that it takes him maybe 3, 4, 5 opportunities to actually get a goal. Much the same as Tammy Abraham in that sense. That takes him a while to put the ball into the back of the net. But that influence is offset by the fact that other players around him play so much better with him in the squad. The high work rates you get from a modern striker like him is something that's intangible and you can't really put a value on. The best way I can describe him, and it sounds like a bit of a paradox, is that he's a defensive striker because he, like I say, he chases the ball down, he defends from the front, and he's not lazy in that sense where he actually engages in the press. It's just the players around him that need to be active to engage in the press as well.
This is what I mean. Like, people are saying in regards to, obviously, Weghorst. Now, Weghorst is not good enough. It's fact. He's not good enough. But when you get in the work ethic, the same work ethic, if not more, because Weghorst and Ollie Watkins they run for days, So if Ollie Watkins is going to be putting in the work that Weghorst puts in the work for and can add goals as well, why not have him as a backup?
I just want to welcome Monday. He's completing the Brady Bunch lineup for today, and he was in dispatch to say, I want to come in, I want to have my say. So, Monday, the floor is yours.
Just want to say hi to Ross. I love Ross. I mean, yeah, Villa fan. I saw Ross's face drop when Colin was talking about sniping one of his players, Watkins, who came from Brentford, just down the road from me. Ross's face just dropped completely. And Colin was oblivious to it. It didn't care, you know. So yeah, really enjoying the show. Big up to you guys. Love the show, love the topics that you discuss. And I'm here for it. I just love talking football and all kinds of sports with you guys. So much going on in this world of sport right now. Talking about world of sport, RIP Dickie Davis, by the way. But yeah, we're back. I know you talk about Harry Kane. Obviously, he's a class player, but he's 30 years old, and what we'll be getting 2-3 years out of him. It's the rise of Van Persie, of signings where we want players can be there for like next 10 years. Like a Haaland or someone like that. But you have to take what you can get. And I don't think we should be too desperate. Let's be patient when we're looking for a striker or the key positions that we need. But it's not all bad. I know Ross has probably been ribbing you guys about the result of the weekend. They beat us away as well when they had their manager bounce back not so long ago. So, yeah, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned about sniping Villa players. There's one Villa player I would absolutely love to see cooking his stuff at Manchester United. Mr. Ramsey, because that boy can play ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just quickly want to say I like him a lot. He's like a beast. I mean, how can he be so young and be pushing off players like pro senior units, pushing them off me? Get off me, get off me. He just runs in his direction. No one can stop him. He's an absolute beast of a specimen. And very good on the ball as well. Got good shot, got good stamina, good drive. And I've been watching a lot with, I used to watch Garner and Palmer and all these guys under 21s level for England. And he's in that group as well of top players. And he's a big standout for me. And I think, I obviously I don't get to watch him a lot. I'd rather someone more qualified like Ross to talk about him on a week-to-week basis, whether he's consistently doing the job, because I know he's definitely a talent.
Yeah, and he's still fairly young. I mean, he's a really good, bright young prospect. He's still in his early 20s, and he's actually, yeah, exactly. And he acts like a roaming playmaker when he's on the pitch. He carries the ball so well. I think he's the closest to Jack Grealish as we could have, because we've seen how he just picks the ball up from deep and runs. Man, as soon as he puts his head down, there's no getting that ball off him. The only way you can is if you foul him, and you always run the risk of conceding a dangerous free kick or penalty. But with that being said, he's got a younger brother called Aaron Ramsey, who's about 19, and he's on loan at Middlesbrough, which is obviously managed by the one and only Michael Carrick.
Yeah.
So he's been tearing it up in the Championship, and they tip his younger brother to be even better than Jacob Ramsey. So there's a good young group there coming up as well for Villa.
That region, isn't it? The Birmingham region. You've got the two brothers, the Bellingham brothers as well. And now you've got the Ramsey brothers. Top quality. It's good to see. It used to be the North East was the region where you get the top quality, or West London, where I'm from. But yeah, it looks like Birmingham are coming back into the fold with great players like that. They're two brothers. And then you've got the Willock brothers as well. There's a guy, Willock at QPR, local to me. Who's the brother of the guy playing for Newcastle, ex-Arsenal, who's also killing it. Really great player as well. So yeah, more so to the families with the playing football out there. You guys got brothers? Have you guys got brothers at all? Yeah. I've got a brother, but unfortunately, I'm much better than him. Sorry, Zico.
Now you all are my brothers.
Colm, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go to Aston Villa, is to get the Ramsey brothers to sign a contract and leave Aston Villa.
Right. Trust me, right? I've spoken with Ramsey because back in 2019, 2020, he was actually on loan at Doncaster Rovers, and he was amazing. He was class. You could see the different level. Honestly, he came on and completely changed games in a matter of seconds. And I was trying to convince him to sign permanently for Doncaster Rovers, but he just weren't having any of it. But no, he's an absolute quality player, and I'm so glad he's like, from when I've seen him play to what he's doing now, he's just got his head down and just kept going with it. And he's probably going to be one of the most sought after players in the transfer market if there's a price floating above his head.
Just sorry, can I just jump in there? Sorry, talking about one of my best friends who I grew up with down here, Barry Miller. We used to play together. We grew up playing football together. He made it pro, and he played for Brentford, and he ended up being captain at Doncaster Rovers. And currently now he's the pastor. He turned Christian, and now he's the pastor of or the chaplain of Doncaster Rovers as well. So one of our other friends, Wayne Richards, his son Taylor Richards was on loan at Doncaster a couple of seasons ago. I don't know if you remember him. And
Yeah, I can.
yeah, and he came on and done pretty well in that division as well. I was following him, done really well. And Barry was kind of looking out for him and looking after him because it's a long way from London, you know. So yeah, Doncaster, I've got a place in my heart, especially big up to Barry Miller, man. Love you, bro.
And one day, before we kind of get into the wrapping up phase, I did do something with the lads at the start of the show. I don't know if you ever heard of a show called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Improvisation show. I love it. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Clive Anderson back in the day. Brilliant.
We're going to play the game with you briefly, and I'm going to ask you 3 topics. First topic, things that Stevie G was never able to say to his kids about his football career.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Daddy, Daddy, why am I drinking out of saucepans? Because we don't have any cups.
Oh!
So I had to think about that one, yeah.
Topic 2, things that Alex Ferguson would never say after losing 7-0 to Liverpool.
I need to go. Things that Alex Ferguson would never say after losing 7-0 to Liverpool. Oh God, I forgot his name now. Who's the detective guy? Scottish detective guy. He had a TV show. Looked like Ferguson.
Oh, Lou Touch Frost.
No,
What?
it was
McTavish.
You remember the guy? He looked like
Yeah.
Ferguson. Max something. Someone in the comments was help. All right, things with Alex Ferguson would never say is, come into my office and have a bottle of wine over your head. That's something he would say. Yeah.
And finally, things that the Glazers never said when they bought Manchester United Football Club.
Never said. Things that the Glazers never said when they bought Manchester United Football Club. Lovely weather over here.
Very good, very good.
That's a great little thing you got there on the spot. Love that. I need to be more prepared next time. But did you get these two? Have you got these two on it? And I want to see you, Were Rebel.
I'll tell you what. You can come back next week and you can ask one of them if
I
you
will,
want.
most certainly, because that's quite tough when you're put on the spot like that. Usually, I like to go because usually you go off screen, have a little think back, and come on and say bam, 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 you know, bam, bam. But
No,
yeah, that's a brilliant segment.
I am going to ask a question, and it normally Bobby does a thing called a challenge, and I'm going to challenge a Monday Jew, man. Quiz time. Obviously, Manchester United and Ireland have had a long association in terms of their player base. Can you name 5 Irish Manchester United players?
Roy Keane, Kevin Moran, Dennis Irwin, Paul McGrath, and Northern Ireland. You've got Whiteside, Best.
No, Northern Ireland. I want Republic.
Okay, Republican. So I said Roy Keane. You could say Terry Gibson. You could say him. Roy Keane, Dennis Irwin, Kevin Moran, Paul McGrath, and Mal Donnelly. No, not him. Irish.
Come on, no. There's 3 that you're completely that have been played more recently. That
John O'Shea. Excuse me. Yeah.
And
Good one.
bonus points for 2 more.
Okay, you got what's his name? Liam. Was he Scottish? Liam something.
Dun, 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 dun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, you got me there.
Liam Miller and
Liam
Darren
Miller.
Gibson.
And Darren Gibson, yeah, of course.
And
Yeah, okay.
one more for you. Don't worry, McShane has got this.
Oh, he didn't play much, did he? McShay centre back, was it?
Paul McShane, yeah.
McShay, okay, good shout. That's a good one. That's a good one. So there must be more Irish players over the year. I mean, who's the guy who died in '58? He was a goal scorer, wasn't he? He died.
Whelan.
Yeah, there you go. I put you on the spot there, Rebel. There's goals. You had Tommy Taylor up front with the Irish boy as well, who was banged a lot of goals in 1958.
He was Whelan, wasn't he?
Liam Whelan.
Yeah, he was a Whelan. Yeah, there you go. Well, good shout. You got that right.
But I am going to kind of, I suppose, sum up. Obviously, this has been about the rumours of Harry Kane and whether or not he could be the Fresh Prince of Ten Hag's crown jewel. Other strikers that we have been linked with were Osimhen, Sesko, Tammy Abraham, and then obviously Cullen brought up Mr. Watkins. Would you think that Harry Kane would be sufficient in order to boost the goal scoring ranks, or is it a case that we would actually need two of those players to come in to spread the burden? Do you think?
What did you guys say? Because I've been listening to the show. All right, let me put it this way. I think Kane is the ideal player for Ten Hag's system. The way he plays, when you look at all the previous strikers that he's managed, they sort of play similar to Kane. They're big, strong, hold up the ball, link play, come a little bit deep, that sort of thing, peeling off defenders. Someone can rotate, get in behind, that kind of thing. And he can finish as well. And he's a predator, isn't he? Inside the box, gets out his feet, nothing flash, just get out his feet, left foot, right foot, gets a yard and shoots. And that's Harry Kane for you. And he can also score with his head as well. So all round, he's a good player. I just don't fancy him. He's not like, oh, I adore him. He's a beautiful player. I just think he's very good at very numerous things. When you talk about the other guys on the list, Sesko, there's no point talking about him because he's already been signed up for RB in Germany.
It doesn't mean he can't leave, though. He's not precluded from leaving because technically he's already in their ownership and he's on loan back to Salzburg.
Oh, so I see. So he could sign in the summer then?
We could.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. I thought we'd have to wait till the following season. Osimhen is someone you just say, oh, who's hot at the moment? We got going for him. Osimhen's a good player. He's quick. He's strong. He's direct. But I think he's also playing for a great system at Napoli at the moment, which is on fire. And he's just the one at the end of it, picking up the pieces. And I think if you look at Tammy Abrahams, he's gone over to the Italian league and looked dynamite. And I think the same applies. It's hard to gauge how well would he do, this guy in Man United in the Prem, because Tammy Abraham looks equally as good as him, holds up the ball, tall, strong, wiry, and it can head as well. But Tammy Abraham couldn't get in the Chelsea side here. So I think we have to be careful when we're sort of saying who's hot at the moment, just because they're playing for a great team at Napoli, the best Napoli team I've seen since Maradona days. I mean, they had some great players back then when they were winning the title, but they haven't won a title since then. So this is a great era for Napoli, and he's the one just burying the goals. So I think we have to think long and hard about selections and just leave it to the management and the scouting. But I do think we need to get someone who's like on the cusp of becoming like a prime player, maybe 24, 25 years old.
Thanks very much, Monday. I just want to say a quick hello to Moss. He's been going ham the comments. Silver one is correct. Osman is the one, and stated his desire to play in the Prem. But to deal with Napoli, only Trent FC seem to know how to make deals with them in Serie A. He also played along with the challenge that I gave to Monday. He said McGrath, Irwin, Keane, best is Northern Irish, Mourne, O'Shea, and the lad that went to Newcastle. But
Gillespie. He's talking about
Gillespie,
yeah.
which is Scottish.
He's Northern Ireland.
No, he's Northern Irish. He's Northern Irish, you're right. But on Monday, I want to thank you for coming on very late and joining us and playing along with us in our Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you liked that segment, please do let us know in the comments as well, because we will try and develop it as time goes on. Ross, our ever-present South African man, we were missing his cohort Frank today. He will hopefully be back next week. And as always, the guy that causes all the trouble, FTSN Column. Thank you very much for your participation today. But gentlemen, the clock has ran out on us for today's show. Thank you very much for everyone that joined us in the chat. But from us for tonight, we are out of here.
Bye-bye.